picture the scene. We get a 999 call to a farm. A man is in critical condition and needs to be helicopter lifted to hospital. He's suffered some really severe injuries and is at the hands of a camel. Yeah?
Right.
So we get a call from our supervisor saying, you need to get up to this farm because essentially firearms officers are on the way because they might have to shoot the camel because the paramedics can't treat the victim because he's not safe because of this sort of man-eating camel. So
yeah,
me and my colleague Cara, we get up to the farm. There's people everywhere. Like it's mental. Yeah, it's mental.
Yeah.
It's actually in quite a quiet area of the borough.
Yeah.
And get on scene. And what's happened is paramedics come over to me. The helicopters, like hems have landed.
Yeah.
So you know it's serious when you see a red helicopter. And they've landed in the middle of this field, and probably 20 feet away from the helicopter, now caged and put away. It's this absolutely enormous camel.
So we're talking like when you see on the films, these huge like humpback camels.
Huge, yeah.
Like twice the size of a horse-sized camel, not a baby, small little camel.
No, about 15 feet high.
Like one that you see out in the desert.
Yeah, in the desert.
What is that doing on our borough?
So, this gentleman used to rescue animals.
Right. Okay.
And any animal that he rescued, he'd then keep on his farm.
Yeah.
And he would charge a small fee for people to come and visit, and they were paying. That money would go to charities.
Okay.
And he ran quite a cool. Like a mini zoo, on this farm. He had, he would have reindeers, little wallabies, this enormous camel. It was 20 years old. He had that camel for 20 years.
Fair enough.
So it was like one of his children. Anyway, he goes, I wasn't there when it happened, but what I got told by the paramedics and what they'd established from the family is that the victim had been out doing his day-to-day chores on the farm, goes into the camel paddock, for some reason has a medical emergency and collapses.
Right.
And the camels come over to aid him, to help him.
Okay,
a bit like how a dog would come over to you and sniff you when you're on the floor.
Yeah.
But what I don't know about camels is that they have razor sharp teeth.
Oh Jesus.
And this camel apparently has gone down and tried to help this old boy and has taken off the entire forearm, all his skin, degloved him. Has then tried to help with his leg and taken off a large portion of his lower leg as well. So that's what the emergency, there was 2 emergencies then it came from. He's suffering some sort of medical emergency and he's then been degloved by a camel. So the paramedics have arrived on scene, hems have landed, but this camel is still free. Thankfully, he's had family that have been able to put the camel away because police would have got there and shot this camel.
Yeah, of course.
As if it was a dangerous animal. So we get on scene, in this field, you've got hems lifting this old boy away who's missing an arm and a leg, and this big camel is frothing at the mouth. And I met his daughter, who was she was lovely. She took us over to see this camel, and it was genuinely distressed because it could sense that something wasn't right.
So
Frothing at the mouth, it was huge, absolutely huge. The paramedics showed me photographs of this injury, and it was literally his skin had just if you just undid his skin there and then just unravelled it. So it was just muscle, tissue, bone, and his leg was just as bad as well. I take it was blood everywhere. It was horrendous. It was horrendous. And he got airlifted to hospital. They weren't sure because it's a really obviously animals. They've got really dirty mouths. So there was disease. He was high risk of disease. And we had to stay on scene at the farm and make sure that everything was settled down. He gets airlifted to hospital. We had a little look around, and he's got those animals. He's been doing it for decades, looking after these animals.
I don't think I've ever seen this place. I know the area that it's in, but I don't think I've ever been there or seen it.
Yeah, it's still there to this day. I don't know if the camel's still there. I've never been back.
I'd love to meet a camel, so I might have to go and have a look. We'll go and have a look on Monday.
I met him years later at another call, and he's now wheelchair bound.
Oh, bless him.
He's got an artificial leg where he's lost the lower part of his leg, and both arms have suffered quite severe damage from the camel. But he told the story that he had a medical emergency and he didn't blame the camel.
It doesn't sound like the camel's fault. It's like you said, if you collapse I collapsed on the floor, either I just lay down on the floor here, Bob would come running in and start
exactly right.
pulling my hoodie and licking me and stuff.
But yeah, the strangest call I've ever been to, like probably the most bizarre call I've been to.
Yeah, that's a strange one.
In my service, to get told you have to go and deal with a camel bite. I've never.
So what was? I'm just trying to wrap my head around this whole thing. So because on the offset it sounds quite amusing, but obviously it's not, because it's a bloke's potentially lost an arm and a leg from. I want to say being attacked by a camel, but he wasn't attacked by the camel.
No.
But on the offset, it sounds like an amusing story. So how would you go about telling that to friends, family, colleagues without bursting out laughing? Because I want to laugh, but I feel bad for laughing.
I think
it's quite
no one's laughing at the victim.
No, of course not.
His injuries are awful.
The circumstances around how he's gained those injuries
are insane, yeah.
It's just mental. Like, you don't see that sort of stuff.
I guess it's the risk of owning animals, isn't it?
Oh yeah, of course, yeah. I mean,
of owning wild exotic animals, it comes with I think as you associate that with like tigers and crocodiles.
That's where I was going with. Yeah, you think of like Steve Irwin and swimming stingrays. Like this stuff is inevitable with a wild animal.
Just learn a lesson. Don't cross a camel.
Never thought I would.
So there you go.